Alright, hello everybody, here we are again, and we are going to talk about my last video, being yourself as a content creator, and especially the comments that you guys left on it, which surprised me. I made a video talking about what it's like to be a content creator these days when you're focused on trying to be a big YouTuber, putting out a brand. And when I started out YouTube, it felt like I was doing it just because I liked expressing myself. And so to summarize that video from last time real quick, there's a difference between having an idea and expressing that, and just expressing yourself for the sake of expressing yourself. It's more raw, real, and authentic. And I noticed with myself that I was missing that in myself and in the way I make videos. It felt fake, to an extent, obviously, because you can never really fake something. It's always your idea to begin with, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. Or your version of an idea, at least. But what surprised me is that I got 3 comments that were really long and really well thought out as well. Usually when I make a video, I will get a comment that says, "Oh, good video, fun video," or they'll mention like one thing I said or did in the video, which is like, "Oh, at 6 minutes, this was a fun moment," and then, "Oh, look at that guy," or something. And now, we got like, dude, we could write an essay with this. I just checked it. It's like over 800 words in 3 comments. And when we take my transcript of the video, it's like 3,700 words. So it makes sense. But it feels good to know that I was talking about something vulnerable, I'd say. And that you guys resonated with it. And then wrote out your thoughts. And now this is very cool, because now we can actually have a conversation about this rather than me just rambling and just sending information to you. Information's coming back to me. This is really cool, and it's your perspective on this thing called being yourself as a content creator. So, let's have a look. The first comment I'm gonna discuss is this really short one by Tata, relatively, because it's still, for a YouTube comment, it's pretty long. And Tata says, "I agree with you. As an amateur animator, I have these kinds of problems too. Like, I make stuff, but only a few people watch it, and I would want more people to watch it. But this need transforms it into bad work." So he's saying that because he wants people to watch it, he changes his work so that he thinks more people will see it, alright? Just to get views. I get what you're saying. We should do our shit, and then whoever wants to watch it can do it. Nice video. Thanks, Tata, I appreciate it. And yeah, we share the same opinion, so I don't really think there's a lot of me to say about this comment. But I thought it was a cool comment. It's very encouraging. Now we go into Matthias S's comment. Matthias or Matthias, like either one of the two is the way you pronounce that, I would suppose. Basically, Enderboy. And he says, "Really good video. Thank you. I think I discovered YouTube in 2012 or so, and I got really into it quickly because it was nothing like TV. Besides for the fact that there were way fewer ads and you could pick what you want to watch freely, YouTube had such a different feel to it, you know? People were sharing the stuff that they loved and expressed their personality and spoke honestly with the audience. I kind of fell in love with the sincerity of YouTube, I guess, and in recent years I feel like that sincerity has decreased by a ton. Now YouTube has all these talk shows and super entertaining videos and clickable titles and thumbnails and whatnot. So many channels now try to figure out YouTube and get most views, and they don't realize that they're becoming less authentic by the minute." This is a really interesting point. I think I tried to make that point but couldn't really put it into words, but this is really pinpointing the problem with having an algorithm that selects specific things. The idea of trying to figure out YouTube, that's to me is a big part of what it's all about. And I recognize that in myself as well, that you're trying to look at this machine called YouTube and you think, okay, well, I could just make a video where I do whatever I wanted to do. I'll just game for a bit. Just game. How is that going to get views? I need to do like, let's say I made a Minecraft Let's Play. I will make a video of like, finding diamonds, oh my god, and then you take something that's not that exciting to you at all, but you make it exciting because you think that if you make something exciting, other people will get excited by it. But because you're not that excited about it yourself anyway, you're just faking excitement for the views, it becomes inauthentic. Or you fake something being interesting. You're like, oh, look what I discovered in Minecraft. And there's just a bunch of channels out there that try to do this like on the daily. Every day they have something crazy exciting going on, or every day they find something very interesting. And it is definitely possible, but I cannot fathom the fact that some people get so excited by the same thing or the same game every single day. Not saying that that is not possible, I'm saying there's probably some channels that fake excitement. And I can only imagine what that does to your mental health as a creator, because every day you're putting out those fake emotions, and that must take a lot of energy. A lot of assumptions on my part, I know, but I feel like because that resonated with me, I'm sure that it also resonates with couple of people out there. As someone who got attached to YouTube because of it being so different from TV, it breaks my heart to see the website becoming more and more corporate, insincere, and less focused on human connection. Exactly, I agree with that. Human connection is probably the force of YouTube. And in this example as well, I can reply to the things that you guys told me, make a video about it the next day. I mean, TV can do that as well, but usually TV has these well-produced series that are already on their own. Maybe with a talk show you can reply to the news, but replying directly to comments is something that YouTube has, but also other social media platforms like TikTok, for example, has this really strongly where you can just make a video in reply to a comment. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool side of TikTok as well. Let's see, where were we? I haven't seen many people talk about it besides myself, so I honestly thought that I was alone in my opinion. But it's really cool to see that you agree with me. Yeah, on being alone in your opinion is like, if you don't necessarily express or share your opinion, you're never gonna know what other people think. There was definitely a possibility with the last video that people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or no one would reply. That would have been a possibility, but you know, you would be pleasantly surprised if you put out what you think is a controversial opinion. Some people might actually agree with you. Now it depends on the opinion, of course. If it's something like, I don't know, if you put out like a very racist opinion, I'm not expecting a lot of people to agree with that. Or if it's controversial in a way that harms others. But if it's a controversial opinion because you think it is, you might just be wrong, and there might be a lot of people that just agree with you, but they don't share it because they think they're alone in it. Which was me as well, by the way. So we both thought we were alone in this, which is really interesting because this is a way to connect, right? Too long didn't read. I agree with everything in this video, and seeing sincere content like this was really a breath of fresh air for me. So I hope you make a couple more of these, dude. I got a whole list of shit I want to talk about, and we'll get to that in a second with the Oddsheep's comment, because he mentioned it as well. I think it would be nice to have a good mix. I wouldn't just want to be a talking channel. I definitely want to do the shit I want to do. But that is also what these videos are about. Just getting out there my personality and what I think about things, my view on the world. And from that point, just developing that a little bit, and then also making a bunch of videos where I do whatever the hell I like. And then for me, it would feel more comfortable to share my honest opinions on games. What if I play a game for a Let's Play and it turns out the game is actually really shitty? Because before I would have been like, okay, well, let's make something out of this. Oh, this part of the game is really fun. No, man, be real. Just be real. This is a fucking shitty game. Just express that. Why? I don't know why I never did that. I really don't know. I've been trying to work on that. Recently, I think I've done it a bit more, but it's weird. It's weird. I always have this idea that I have to be very positive about the things I play, because for some reason, positivity would do better on YouTube. No clue. How long have we been talking? It's been 10 minutes. That's nice. Alright, we'll go to the Oddsheep's comment. So, the Oddsheep did his comment in Dutch. So, as we speak, I am going to translate it in English. We'll probably go alright. We'll see. So, he says, I'll do it in Dutch because I would like to communicate as well as possible what I can. But In a way, what you said is a bit of a metaphor for life or something, right? Literally yesterday, I said things that I regretted later. But it's just how my brain works sometimes. And you would love to be able to edit things out of your life, just like jump cutting in YouTube. But accepting that mistakes are a part of you and showing them is very freeing. I agree with this. And this is... Damn. This is impactful shit. Being able to cut things out of your life. Because if you think about it, you read this sentence and you're like, obviously you can't cut things out of your life like it's a video editing program. But is that really true? Is that really true? Sometimes you express yourself in a way that's not authentic because you feel like other people would not appreciate it. So in a sense, you're actually doing just that. You're actually cutting things out your life that are you. Just because you're sitting there and looking at yourself and thinking, oh, what I just said or what I just did was a mistake or will be reacted to negatively by other people, doesn't necessarily mean that they think that way. Actually, you don't know. There could be a person that loves the fuck out of you just because you said that thing that you thought was a mistake. You know, maybe you're blunt. Maybe you're very blunt. You're a bit rough with the words you use. And maybe when you were a kid, your parents would be like, oh, you have to be polite, man. You have to be polite. And then maybe later on, when you're in class or something, you've grown up a little bit. There's people around you that really crave that bluntness, that boldness, just saying what you think, just being real. Some people will really connect on that with you. So that's an example of like cutting things out your life in a way. It's like suppressing things that are you for the sake of it flattens your rough edges. It makes you a bit bland. So that's an interesting thing to talk about. It's a really interesting insight how I mentioned cutting in the last video and Oddcheap makes the connection between cutting and doing that in real life. Interesting. Alright. Accepting that mistakes are a part of you and yeah, okay, so showing that is freeing. Okay, so then he says, I can't be perfect and can't trust that... Okay, let me read this out carefully. De mensen die echt om je geven begrijpen dat die fouten... Oh, okay, so... He says I can't necessarily trust that people around me will understand that the mistakes are actually mistakes. But he says that people that don't understand that are maybe not the people you want around you, alright? So he basically is saying you want the people that see the good in you. Okay. He says I really like to watch these kinds of videos in combination with normal content. Because obviously entertainment is a part of YouTube, but it's just nice to do. But these kind of videos, making them to just be authentic is essential. Especially for you. There's a person behind the camera, but it's fucking difficult to really show that person. That's what, yeah, agreed. But I will also say, once you do it, once you actually go out there and show yourself, it becomes really easy. And maybe it's because you guys left these really sweet comments. They're fucking sweet, man. They're fucking wholesome. I appreciate that. But maybe that encouragement has helped me a little bit. I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe I could already do it and just told myself I couldn't. But now that I'm just speaking my mind on things, I don't think my opinions are very controversial to begin with. I think they're pretty healthy. But it's actually surprisingly easy to be yourself, as it should be. It makes sense, right? It's difficult to change yourself and to mold yourself into something you're not. But being yourself, it's just letting go of that changing and molding. It's just taking a step back and allowing yourself to do whatever you want to do. Okay, so then we go to the next part of his comments, which says, besides, I think that is indeed a good idea to look at what people think. But if you can conclude that it is something that's good for you, then just do it. So this is about doing things that you like versus other people's opinion and doing things to fit in. The most difficult thing is to trust that people around you see what's good for you. And now he gives an example about inline skating. He says, I wanted to do inline skating. I don't know if the English translation is also inline skating, but well, we can take skating if that's not the translation. You guys know what it's about. But I didn't want to come across as a 12-year-old kid that tries to skate. I'm reading this and I'm thinking, what's wrong with a 12-year-old kid that tries to skate? But this probably also has a lot to do with what we talked about yesterday or 2 days ago, which is the concept of cringe. Oh, you're doing something fun, but it's not what the cool kids are doing. That's cringe, right? It's always cringy. Wholesome things can be cringy, I guess. Then just fucking do it. Don't worry about people thinking something of it. That was the topic. So I did it anyway. I went inline skating, but because I was like, I love doing this shit. Every time I was skating, I felt better. But I had to tell myself, just do it, man. Just do it. You are allowed to do the things that make you happy, regardless of what other people think. And it is really difficult. That's what he ends off with, this last paragraph. It is really difficult to do the things you want to do through the judgment. That's the best translation I can find, right? There's judgment and you break through it and then you find what you want to do. So, his closing thoughts are, I wanted to say I watched your video entirely without any issues. Maybe it wasn't entertaining in the traditional way, but it was it's a Dutch expression that says like a brain cracker. Now it sounds like cracker, like something you eat, you know? When it really challenges your brain, it's basically what he says, alright? And it was a real one-to-one. Which is what I wanted to achieve with that one, so cool. Dope shit, yeah. Yeah, breaking through the judgment and finding something behind that. Because the thing is also, you never really know what's behind the judgment. I think I saw a YouTube video by... It was a guy that he had a pretty spiritual channel, and I'm not really into spirituality all that much, so I don't necessarily remember his channel name. I'll try to look it up and put it in the description. Basically, he made a video that was about... people judging you for what you're doing and judging you for who you are, and he basically said, yeah, but if you've never tried to really be yourself, then they're just judging your first step. You already have in mind what you want to express, and you have like a final product in mind. You have your authentic expression in mind, but because you've never really practiced it or never really done it, it comes out like a little awkwardly, a little haphazardly. It's like, okay, I'm trying to express myself while also feeling judged, so you're not necessarily, you don't really have a big high self-esteem about yourself. You used to have a high self-esteem about the thing you expressed that you thought people liked. It made you feel safe, but now you're out here actually expressing yourself, and it's the first time you're doing it, and it feels unsafe. And it feels difficult. And so, it's just your first step. And his point was, yeah, okay, but how are they going to feel when you reach your fourth step? Or your seventh step? Or your 10th step? Or if you actually make it to the point where you want to be? And so, let's say you're a musician and you're trying to play the guitar and sing. But you fucking suck. You suck ass at singing. And so people are like, why are you singing? Why are you playing the guitar? We don't get it. And then suddenly, after like 8 years, you break through and you get like a hit song. And everybody's like, oh shit, that is so dope. You know, man, I've always thought you could make it. And it's so impressive that even though other people thought you couldn't do it, you still did it anyway. The question is, what really changed about the authenticity? Right? What's different about a kid practicing and singing really poorly and someone actually making a hit song and breaking through? It's the opinion of other people, because nothing can become a hit without other people liking it. That's it. Nothing can be big. The whole thing about being big and breaking through and having a hit is about how many people like it. And so if you're that kid practicing on his guitar, singing shittily, nobody likes it. The only difference is the opinion of other people. The kid never really changed. He just grew up and improved his skills, right? That's the other part. The more skilled he gets, the more people like it. So the point here is that if you feel like you can do something, maybe it's a good perspective to think you just can't do it yet, and you just have to keep trying, and you have to keep working at it. Now, eventually, there's a lot of conclusions you can draw from this. You could just say, express yourself regardless. It already feels really freeing. That's a nice thing you could think about. In the end, it was nice to talk. Jeez, it's getting difficult to talk now. But it was nice to talk about. I appreciate your guys' opinions. And in some of the next videos, we will have some different topics to talk about. Would be nice to talk about, for example, social skills. Or it would be nice to talk about finding your passion, people pleasing, going to the gym, getting out of your comfort zone, mental health, the concept of cringe, emotions and how to handle them. We got a shit ton of topics we can talk about, and it's gonna be fucking fun. As well as some of the other things I want to create on YouTube. So I will stick around and I will see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like. And I'll see you next time. Bye.